You know, when Jeanette asked me to be on it, I was pretty pumped because I know that she's going to put me in front of high quality people. Jeanette, if you don't know, is one of our top 5 leaders in our entire organization. So you've got great leadership in Jeanette, and then we've got just a large amount of high quality influencing leaders in this organization. So I'm excited to spend some time with you tonight. For those who don't know my background, my quick summary, I grew up with these products. I've been using them since I was 10 years old. My mom is a physiotherapist and acupuncturist in Rocky Mountain House, Alberta. So she brought these products in as a way to enhance her practice and to just deal with more things naturally. So I was raised using these products, and I went to college when I was 18 for personal training. I did that for 3 years before I left personal training and went full-time into my Young Living business. That's now been about 5.5 years now full-time for me. The reason I looked at leaving personal training and going towards Young Living as my full-time gig was I realized as a personal trainer that my income was very limited. I was earning about $30,000 per year and working split shifts, 40 to 50 hours a week. And I knew that the only way I earned more money as a personal trainer was simply by working more hours. There was no leverage within my business, within what I did. If I didn't see a client, I didn't get paid. And that's not fun. And I've realized at 22, 23 years old that working split shifts, making $30,000 per year wouldn't pay the bills in the long run. It was fine as a, as a young guy. But the second you toss in a girlfriend or a wife and kids, $30,000 and getting up at 5 a.m. and getting home at 10 p.m. isn't ideal. So I was looking for an out. I was looking for a way to make more money with my schedule. And so it started off Young Living as a part-time thing. And I just worked it into what I was doing as a personal trainer, and then made the transition at the rank of silver into doing this business full-time. My goal with my business, I really encourage everyone to always have an income disclosure around at every single event to know those numbers. But my goal was to get from silver to like a higher silver or even gold. At about gold, you're making $6,000 a month on average, according to income disclosure. Really, my goal is if I can make $3,000 a month, not personal training, and I could do that from home without having to go back to school and get a higher level education and invest the time, effort, and energy of that, then that was my that would be winning for me. So I knew that as a 22-year-old, if I wasn't happy with my current plan, that I either would have to go back to college, go to school for 2 to 4 years, student loans rack up pretty quickly in that world, and I would come out at the end of 2 to 4 years and have debt and a better job. And so this was a better plan for me, and after 4 to 5 years of doing this full time, it's worked out better than my initial goals were. I should have set some bigger goals, reaching the ranks that I've had and seeing the success we've had. So all of that leads to where we're at now. I'm the highest rank in Canada, so I've got a very good overview of how this company is run in Canada. 91% of my business is derived from Canada. So not only am I highest rank, but there's lots of other diamonds within Canada, but a lot of their business is actually based out of the US. But we are the authentic Canadian team. We are majorly Canadian. I work hand in hand with Young Living Corporate every single day to plan promotions and bounce ideas back and forth. And because corporate does a really great job for us from their perspective, but sometimes they need an insight into what a field leader thinks like. And so, that Boxing Day promotion that we just went through, that was very successful. Those 5 days of Essential Awards, where we're really focused on getting more Essential Awards members, because that sets us up for the best 2017. That was my idea. I'm going to claim it on the call right now. But we've got a great corporate presence in, her name's Lori Berger. She's our head of marketing and business development right now. And she is like super duper sharp. So Canada is in a very good position. We've got great corporate support that really values our feedback. We just finished our greatest sales year ever. And we, in the past 12 months, have launched over 50 natural health products with Health Canada. So those are products that have approved health benefits direct from Health Canada. We've got supplement line now in Canada that will be growing out this year. That is a major thing. Some things to come include like Super B, multi-greens, ICP, Comfort Tone. I'm sharing those with you now just because the way I think is, I know a product's coming to market, I want to order it now from the US. So I've got personal experience with the product. So when it launches in my marketplace and more of my consumers will likely be gravitating towards it, I'm not learning about Super B for the first time. I'm not trying multi-greens and experiencing the energy benefits they have. I already can say, like, I've been using multi-greens for 60 days and it helps me get through my midday slump. It does this, it does that, whatever. So we are going to be still rolling out more products this year, not nearly as many probably as the past year, because we rolled out almost 100 products in a year. Health Canada actually told Young Living that they rolled out more natural health products for us in 1 year than they've seen any single company ever push through the Health Canada guideline regulations ever. So we've got a very, very strong setup with what we have moving forward in the 2017. And so I want to take the next however long until Nick gives me the cut-off moment to talk about some of my biggest tips for everyone moving into 2017. One thing about me that you'll learn is I do take my business very seriously, and I really looked at this as, you know, if I wanted to become an accountant, a professional accountant, I would have to go to school for at least 4 years, have to study, apply myself, put in the time, effort, and energy. I looked at network marketing as being, I looked at getting it like a degree in network marketing. I wanted to go and learn what it took to be successful. I wanted to apply it. And so my goal for our team is to just take everything that I've learned and advance your learning curve, tell you things that maybe took me 3 or 4 years to learn. And if you can learn it at the beginning, then it will save you time. It might be late, but it's never too late for a zing. So we're going to crack this open and keep on going. Vanessa doesn't know I snuck one of these in here. She'll be mad. So if I could look at 2017 and what will potentially be the biggest breakthrough that you might have, and what we've seen where the biggest breakthroughs come is through attending events. We just came back from a large event in Las Vegas. It's called GoPro. You had some very big name people in the business world. Tony Robbins was a speaker. Richard Branson, he's the owner of over 200 different companies, including Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Mobile, a multi-billionaire. And he was there just because they believe in what a profession can provide. Richard Branson talked about how valuable our profession was for allowing specifically women from home to earn incomes and support their families and to be able to raise their kids while working. And Tony Robbins has been at this event for 2 years in a row. He'll be back next year as well for a 3rd year. So these are major, major players in the business space. Next year's event also includes Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Brendan Bouchard. Most of these keynote speakers are people who would be like the big name keynote at like our company convention or most company conventions, and you'll get 4 or 5 of them. But the reason I'm such a big fan of events is personally, that's where I had my first real breakthrough. I left my job I gave my notice after Thanksgiving weekend in 2011. The Young Living Convention was 2 weeks before in September. So I had just come off of the Young Living Convention, and then I had to make a career transition where I made the decision, I'm not doing personal training anymore, I'm just doing Young Living. I know that I probably would not have had the confidence in myself to make that transition had I not been at that convention 2 weeks prior. And I was at the convention 100% alone. Even my parents were not at that convention. They were on a vacation in Italy. So I was there without an upline, without a downline. I was this little old Adam, personal trainer. And 2 weeks later, I made a big transition for my life. The next convention was June of 2012, and Bob Proctor was a keynote speaker that year. And something he said clicked with me that year. I'd been going to these conventions for 3 years at that point. It was my 3rd convention. And I've been stuck at the same rank for 3 years. I've been a silver for 3 years. Many people don't. That part of the story isn't nearly as glorifying or as awesome as being Royal Crown Diamond and being young and whatever. So I was stuck at silver for 3 years because I had no network marketing training. I'd never read a network marketing book. there was no business development going on, period. And so I had no mentorship in that sense. So I was just kind of like limping along, and I finally got what network marketing is about, that duplication was required, and that if things were to change, I had to change. And if things were to get better for me, I had to get better. So I made a dramatic mental shift at the 2012 convention that I would not come back to the next convention, the same rank. So I had to at least be gold by the next convention. 3 months later, I hit gold. 3 months later, I hit platinum. And then 4 months later, I hit diamond. I went from silver to diamond in an 11-month period. So that was, I think, the first time at that point in the company's history that had happened. And so events have really changed my journey. And then going forward and seeing how it's really helped our own members, the biggest decisions in your business are usually made at an event, because you are able to see things in a different light when you're absolutely immersed in the experience of an event. Events really hit something in our human core. That's why people pay to go to concerts, not just to see celebrities on stage, because they want to be part of the music. They can just plug and play something on YouTube and listen to the song, but instead you'll pay for an overpriced ticket to go listen to somebody sing probably not as good. Most artists aren't as good live as they are on their CDs because they're not being remixed, because we want to be part of that environment. So when you go to a Young Living convention or a network marketing event or a local event in your area, you will hear things, learn things, and experience things that you cannot experience at home. Even the GoPro, they offer it as a live stream. I can 100% tell you, like, a live stream is better than a no stream, but a live stream never, ever would replace the value of the live event themselves, especially when you look at a speaker like Tony Robbins. You can't do Tony Robbins from like behind your screen by yourself. Like, it isn't the same. It's better than doing nothing, but it is not the same as being there live. The value of the mentorship that you get at these events, it's very hard to put a price on it. If I wanted to be a successful real estate agent, I could, read everything. I could go to take every test. I could do everything right. But probably the easiest way for me to be successful as a realtor would be to simply find a really successful realtor and ask them questions, learn from them, and do whatever they do, and just like model the example of a super successful realtor. And that same thing applies for us in our business. If you want to be successful at Young Living professionally, it's best to follow what successful people are doing. And so usually 100% at these events, the successful people are the ones speaking, they're the ones sharing, and they're the ones who are teaching you what you can learn. The other thing that's super powerful for an event is you will hear things differently from other people than you will from the person who enrolled you. So this is known as like third-party edification or just third-party coaching. Let's say, Jeanette personally enrolled you. You and Jeanette have been best friends for your entire life. You remember Jeanette when she was in grade 1, and you remember when, you knocked her off the teeter-totter and she's never really forgiven you for it. And so all of Jeanette's past, her failures, her successes. So when Jeanette comes to you and tells you some business advice, you don't just look at Jeanette as being the highly successful Young Living entrepreneur she is. You look at her through the entire filter in which you know Jeanette through. When you go and you hear the exact same thing said from stage by some random person, and you go back to Jeanette and go like, Jeanette, did you hear what this person said? He said, for things to change, I have to change. For things to get better, I need to get better. And Jeanette's going, I've told you that, but congratulations. And this isn't like a bad thing across the board. This is just human nature. We naturally kind of don't listen to the people who are closest to us at times. Just it is what we do. I have that in my life. I didn't want to do this business. I didn't want to do Young Living because my mom did Young Living, and I looked at how she did it and said, I couldn't do it like you do it, so I didn't do it. I looked at other network marketing businesses. I looked at 3 to 4 other network marketing companies before I decided to do Young Living, because it took me that long to realize there wasn't I really liked Young Living products. I didn't like a lot of other products out there, and I just needed to see it differently than I saw it through the eyes of my mom. Hello.
Is that
So
where they're gone?
the value of third party is super powerful, and you'll get that at an event. And the other thing that I think is so crucial is the relationships you'll develop at an event, because you will meet people who are like-minded. You will develop new friendships and relationships that you wouldn't have had otherwise. And when you pull people out of their safe and comfort zones and where they're just in their own bubble, when we went to GoPro, we actually rented a house and slept 28 people in the same house. It allows us to stay in a really cool place. It was more cost effective than staying at like a host hotel and paying some of the Vegas strip rates. But what it really did is allowed us to get to know people and connect in a way that you couldn't do otherwise. So on this call, there's lots of people a few people who were at this event with us. And because they were at the event with me and I actually lived with them for 3 to 4 days, I know their goals more. I able to spend more time with them. They were able to learn more. Jeanette was there. Jolene was there. I'm one of Jolene's members. Shauna was there. Had I not, there were people who were at the event with us that I didn't even see the entire time. So I don't know them any better. I don't have any bigger and better relationship, but because I stayed and lived with Shauna and Jolene and Jeanette and Kevin and Darby and lots of people, I know their names. I know what their goals are, and I just have more connection to them, and they've got more connection to me. A great example of this, we had an event last night in Kelowna, and there was a guy who was there. He's on my, I'm going to tell you real quick. I'm going to find him. But he is pretty deep within my organization. He is 13 levels deep. He is new as of November. So he signed up in November, and he's 13 levels deep, and he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leadership rank people between myself and him. So he's got a plethora of resources. I'm not, because he's 9 levels of leaders deep, I'm not paid on him in my organization. I never will be. Just the way our comp plan works. It's a good problem to have when you get there. Again, look at the income disclosure for Royal Crown Diamond. It's a good thing to have. But so his name's Christian, and he's at the event last night in Kelowna. Christian stayed with us at the mansion. He bought his ticket to GoPro the same night he bought his starter kit. So that shows you the level of commitment that he had right away, and wanting to know he's successful in other areas of life. So he said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it right. And so the event last night, he was there, and he brought 2 people with him. All of a sudden, I know Christian. I lived with Christian for 4 days. So Christian comes up. I say, hey, Christian, you give him a high five, give him a hug or whatever. He introduces me to 2 people. And he's then able to connect his 2 brand new people who are 14 levels deep to me, to the highest ranking member in the entire company in Canada. And it makes him look really good. It gets them connected. I'm going to Salmon Arm in 2 weeks for the event there. Then I'll see Christian and his 2 people again. So it gets you on a radar that, again, it's really hard to put a price point on that, because like, I'm only one person. I can't, like, it's physically impossible for me to know everybody, but going to an event is a really easy way to kind of like filter out and meet people that I just couldn't meet otherwise, or it'd be hard to. And anyway, it's just a cool experience that I saw last night, because I saw him from across the room. I know him. He's only been a member for 2 months, but I know him by name, and I know lots about him simply because he stayed with us at the mansion. His leader got him there, and they're bought into the next event as well. So events absolutely are powerful. At the event we had in Kelowna last night, we had, I think, 8 different speakers, ranging from new silvers all the way up to diamond. And every single one of them had a turning point shift in their business. And it came from an event. So they were sitting in an event. One of them, her name was Lisa. She was at the Live Your Passion rally in October, the very first one we ever had. She was at the one in October as a star. And she heard somebody on stage. Her name's Lisa Blackstock. She's a new gold out of Salmon Arm. And she heard Lisa Blackstock speak and was inspired by the message at the event. That was in October. She hit executive in November and hit silver in December. She's moving very fast. She spoke last night on stage. She'll be speaking at the next rally. So she went from being in the crowd as a star at one rally to the next quarter later being on stage as silver with 2 executives in her team, 2 EI3s this month. So Events absolutely are powerful. The biggest, if you could just do one thing for your business, if you could put people in the chairs at your next major event locally and let your leaders go to work, because we have, you guys in this team have very high quality leadership just within your reach. And maybe you don't know it because of that thing I alluded to earlier, that they're too close to you and you know all their background, their past, and you don't see them the way that I see them when I look at a sales growth chart, and when I see the leadership skills that they have, and when I see what they're doing behind the scenes. I think the purpose of every event is to build towards the next event. So we held this event in Kelowna last night simply because there's a big event coming in Kelowna in 2 weeks. So we do a smaller event now so that we can incentivize and motivate and inspire people in January 4th to make the January 21st event even more successful than it would have been otherwise. We put 80 people in a room last night. If all of them come back with one person, that 80 people is now 160 people. If they come back with 2 people, it's over 200 people just by doing an event, building to the next event, to the next event. So I think there is a kind of like a 3-tier breakdown of the way like events work, and that's like a local event. So that might be like a monthly meeting, something within your general area that it doesn't have to be really big. These might not be the biggest events. It might be 40, 50 people. They might be 10 people, but they all start somewhere, but it's a local event to you. This also classifies home events. I would classify a home event as being a local event because that's an event that, again, the goal is to go from event to event, from a home event to a home event. So you got a local event, you've got regional type events. So these are events that are kind of like every quarter. That is what these Live Your Passion rallies are serving for Young Living. These are quarterly events that are being put on by the field. Quarterly events being put on by the field, hosted by local leaders in certain regions. So I know we've got a Vancouver Island rally. We've got one in Kelowna. We've got one in Salmon Arm. We've got one in Calgary. We've got one in Red Deer. There's one in Saskatoon with the ULA guys. You can go on the website and they've got a list of these quarterly events that are going all across North America. So the purpose of a local event is to build to the next local event and to build up towards a regional event, to make the next regional event better than the one before it. And then there's a national level event. So for us, that is our Young Living Convention. It happens only one time a year. This year it's June 14th to 17th. It's in Salt Lake City. It's the #1 biggest event for Young Living every single year. So that is, again, a goal for us is to show up every year with more people at that event, because throughout the year, that is a common theme as we're building from a local to a regional to a national. And the one thing with Young Living is we are very, very product focused, which is one of our strongest strengths because it's what's given us such a strong baseline platform to build off of. Our product is solid. We've got over 600 products in our complete product line. We've got over 200 priced in Canadian dollars right here in Canada. High quality products. They do what they're supposed to do. They are not, they work. So the products are really great. And because we've got such a product focused ownership and company, the one thing that somewhat is missing from this equation is more in-depth directed business and personal development. And that is why we plug into the Network Marketing Pro events that Eric Worre puts on. So that's the GoPro event. And then he also does a smaller one called the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. And those actually alternate with each other. So the way that looks like for me and my schedule, and I'll run through my event calendar and what I do for myself, is I tend to try and do one major event every quarter, because that's what I know for me is what it takes to keep my cup full. So I am recharged. So I'm always learning and growing. So I can take away new information. I can meet more leaders. It's just, that's what I have to do, and I've seen work best for my business. It's not an expense, they're an investment, because every single time I've gone to these events, I increase my income afterwards because of what I learn at it and who I meet at these events within our leadership team. So these events just make me money, just my mindset and how I apply them afterwards. So It's the only reason I probably don't do more is because more of like a balance between, like, if I was just at an event every single weekend, my wife would not be too happy with me. So I really work to have one quarterly event. So my next one, and my first quarter event for the year, is Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. That's March 2nd to 4th in Las Vegas. Again, due to the name is Most Powerful Women, all the speakers are women unless it's a couples panel. Men can go to it. It's just an event catered towards women. But again, women make up over 75% of network marketers. So that's a good demographic to key on. And as you can tell from this call, we've got some women on the call, a few. So that's my quarter one event, is Most Powerful Women. Quarter two is convention. So that's June 14th to 17th. Quarter three event is kind of like a semi-gap, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then quarter four is GoPro, and that's November 16th to 18th. Now, those are actually like, those are all like national level things. Like, they all require travel. And that's kind of the main difference between a national. Like, a regional one is one that you should be able to drive to within 3 to 4 hours. You know, not within half an hour. Like, if there's nothing in your immediate city, within a few hour radius, if you're in, as long as you're not in Timbuktu, you should be able to find a regional event that you can drive to. A national event is a flight.
Zoom call?
So those are my 3 national level events. And then the other event that's kind of come on the radar is Richard Brooke is a personal mentor of mine, a friend, and he's great. He's the author of The 4-Year Career, Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. So he's doing a vision workshop in September in Coeur d'Alene. So Coeur d'Alene is gorgeous to begin with, but it's a 1-day workshop on increasing your own personal vision for your life. He does some really powerful transformational work. And Coeur d'Alene, for those who are in Western Canada, is an actual drivable event. So we're going to be working on bringing some people to that. But I also know that lots of people like to visit in Western Canada. The tourist destination for Western Canada, I would say in the summer, would be the Okanagan. Kelowna is a nice place to visit. So Richard will be coming out to Kelowna in August to do an event for us that will be catered around the same idea of crafting your own personal vision. So that's kind of like my quarter three. It's all Richard Brooke stuff, more vision, personal growth stuff. So the reason we picked in August is because I want to go from that August event, and the people who will be at that one will maybe be more incentivized to get people, or be able to get more people to the September one. So that's what my big overall year in review looks like. As you can tell, I've already got it planned. I've got the dates in place. Then I know the dates for my regional events with the Live Your Passion rallies, and then everything else is filled in with local events. So that's home events, smaller events, just anything that's going on. And the purpose of an event is to build towards the next event, because that's where people make the biggest decisions. And it's also where you have the most leverage, because if I do a one-on-one and I spend 1 hour with one person, if they say no at the end of the hour, then I've practiced for the hour. I got some good practice. Right now on this call, we've got 46 people live in the call. So if I speak for an hour, I've reached 46 people in 1 hour versus one person in 1 hour. So that's the power of our model, is we have leverage in what we do. It's like being able to personal train 46 people in an hour versus one person in 1 hour. We've got leverage in what we do. So just putting people together in a room or online creates better odds for you. And there is just an element of what we do that is a numbers and a sorting process of what we do. So Jeanette is going to post, or no, do I have that up still? Do I have it up? Yeah, so I tagged her in this. So there's 2 things I'm going to end on, then I'm going to get off this horse. I'm going to ride this horse out of town. But there's 2 mentors of mine, people I've seen speak at GoPro every year, and they just have some interesting thoughts on the idea of the importance of events. So Richard says on the importance of events, events are a choice we as sales leaders are responsible for and everyone else should honor. After all, it's our life, our decision. I've been a full-time network marketing leader for 40 years, and every leader I know that has built a significant asset income went to every significant event until they found the success they sought. Every significant event. So that was Richard's 40 years of sage wisdom. And then Jordan Adler, he's the author of Beach Money, one of my favorite books out there. He posted this actually towards his company and his team after his company convention. So he says, this is not directed at any one individual, and these are Jordan's words, so I'm not directing it to anybody here. He says, the reason people give for not attending the convention is almost the very reason why they need to attend the convention. So I'll repeat that before going on. The reason people give for not attending the convention is almost always the reason why they need to attend the convention. Jordan says, I was in 11 network marketing companies in 10 years and struggled financially every single year. My car was broken down for 2 years. I maxed out my credit card at $36,000. I learned that the reason that most people why most people don't make it in network marketing is because they do the opposite of what they need to do when things get tough. If you are hurting financially, then that is the very reason you need to be at convention. You'll notice that people that do this business big always do the opposite of what the masses do. The masses cancel last minute. The rock stars follow through on their commitments. If you are out of time, then that is the very reason why you need to be at convention. I'm not disappointed in you. I'm disappointed for you. I know I did not get your permission to be direct here, but I wish for you to be successful in your business. I stayed in the equivalent of a Motel 6 with 5 other people my first convention. 6 of us squeezed in Toyota Tercel and drove from Arizona to Salt Lake City. I did not have the money to eat, but miraculously people shared their food with me, whatever it takes. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Those are two, again, very, very successful people in the network marketing space. I'm trying to paste it in the comments, but of course it is too much words, too much wisdom for one comment section. I got Richard's in there. Let's see if I can do Jordan's individually.
I can also post that in our business group too after.
Yeah, I did Richard's. I can't do Jordan's, it's too long. I can split up. I'm not going to waste too much time on it right now. So again, my thought always with my business is if I can just learn from people who have gone before me and are more successful and do what they do and get their wisdom, then I will be more successful faster. I really sought after the mentorship of Richard Brooke because I read his book. He started network marketing about when he was my age, found success early. And so I looked at his story and his experience over his life and said, if I can learn what he wishes he didn't do in his 20s and not do what his biggest mistakes were, then I've just saved myself like 30 plus years of mistakes and wisdom. And so for me, that was worth the very first time I met Richard. I drove 9 hours to Coeur d'Alene for a 1 hour breakfast. And then he had to fly off and go golfing. And then I went home. So I drove 18 hours round trip for a 1 hour meeting because it got me in front of him. And then at the next generic network marketing event I attended, Richard was a speaker. And now he knows who I am because I drove down and I'm this young kid from Canada and he just knows more about me because I got in his face a little bit and I got the time. And every single thing he's told me, I just make sure I do it. I don't ask too many questions about why. I just do because I trust and have faith that I wouldn't be led astray by the advice that he would give me. And I know that if I ever stop doing the things he was asking me to do, then the coaching relationship that I'd be able to build would likely not be there that much longer because coaching is 2 ways. There's the coach coaching, and then there's the student or the recipient receiving and acting. I could just receive all his knowledge, and if I don't act on it, I'm wasting his time, I'm wasting my time, and I'm dishonoring what he's given me. So my goal is to always be coachable and to be learning. I can tell you the one thing that I wasn't coachable on. He told me, I don't know how long ago, that I should be recording every single thing that I'm doing. And we are recording this. Thank you, Jeanette. He just said, you never know when you or somebody else on your team will say something a certain way and you need to capture it. Because once you capture it, you can leverage it. You don't need to reproduce it again. And so he said, like, again, your time is limited. You can only be so many places at once. Record every single thing for the time where you get that one nugget, that one story, that one way you've said it. You've maybe said it 50 times before, but the 51st time you said it a different way. And I can tell you that I didn't do this like for a long time. And the regret that I have is if there's any regrets that I actually really have in my life right now, I don't have too many, because most things, no matter the struggle, I'm grateful for because they've led me to where I'm at now. And I couldn't change it then. When I didn't record certain things and I knew I'd been coached, I should have been doing it. And then I find out that I didn't, or I just put it off, knowing that I was coached and I had the answer, but I didn't act on it. That's when the regret kicks in, because all of a sudden it's not a mistake anymore, or it's not a lesson. It is a mistake. Like, a mistake is only a mistake if you don't learn from it. So I made a mistake once. I didn't record it. I've been coached on it. That should have been slap on the wrist one, but it's just happening again and again. And it wasn't until, honestly, when Richard was speaking at the mansion, that we had a private session at GoPro. Again, when you're at these events, you get exclusive experiences. We had him talking to about 50 of our team members. And Jeanette, Jeanette made like a 2-minute statement that I would pay a large amount of money to be able to have captured forever. And I can't. I didn't record it. I knew I was supposed to record it. He had told me before I was supposed to record it. Like, it was him. He was right there. I could have even just had like an audio going, because I've done audio before. I just pull my phone. Every single person has a phone. You can record the audio. You can put a picture on it. You can't get it back. I can't. And it can't be reproduced the same ever again. So, again, like, you either, like, I'm learning, like, every single time. This is December. This is a month ago. I'm still learning. I'm learning with you. But we went out and we bought, we spent about $2,500 on a professional camera setup, on professional microphones, because I'm not missing anymore. I'm done with it. Like, I finally, kicked myself in the pants enough that I just, like, you got to just do what you're supposed to do. And, like, if I just listened, I wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So the value and the pricelessness of mentorship, it really can't, you can't put a price on it. And that's what I think is so cool about our business model, is there's not a whole lot of business models out there that you've got so many people who want to elevate you. They want to see you grow. They want you to be the best version of yourself. They want you to have a stronger income. They want you to help more people with our products. There's just such a vested interest in seeing people succeed that it's really quite exceptional what we have in place with our model. So, events are very important. And the one thing that I've just noticed overall is when you use the word next time all the time, like, because sometimes it's really easy as a human, we're used to kind of just coming up with excuses. It's just kind of ingrained into a lot of us. So when someone produces something, our first thought is to discount it and get rid of it, instead of actually thinking, how can I get creative to make this work? So someone says, hey, we got this, our biggest convention of the year. It's in Utah, June 14th to 17th. If the first thought pops in your head is all the reasons why you can't do it, that's a habit that we can work to break, because instead of thinking about all the reasons why you can't make the next major event work, spend just as much time working with your leaders on how you can make it work. An event that's 6 months out right now, unless like you're due for giving birth on that date, or you got a wedding set that day, or like one like major function that you just, like, a life experience that you cannot miss, between now and June, you can run a business. If money is the thing, you can get rid of that objection by building a business with your leadership team over the next 4 to 5 months. If, again, most excuses, I don't remember who said this, but like, most excuses are just well-planned lies. And when you are presented with objections, whether it's I don't have enough time, I don't have the money, I don't like selling. I know that's a question I got. There's a video that Richard has put out. It's called Curiosity-Based No, that's a different one. It's called Listening Through Objections. There's 3 videos I really like from Richard, but the one I'm alluding to now is Listening Through Objections. And the value of that video is that when you're met with an objection, our natural response is to push back. So someone gives you an objection and you just work to tell them why they're wrong instead of finding out what really they think about it. Because most time when they have an excuse or a reason for not doing something, it's a deeper rooted thing that you just saying, well, you know, conventions are where things happen. Like events are where leaders are at. And, you know, giving basically everything I just did, giving that to them in that situation likely won't be what turns them around. So listening through objections, if you struggle with overcoming objections over anything in your business or life, which probably every one of us does at some point, that would be a great you know, video for you to listen to in your free time. So yeah, our key events, our next one right now, like where I want everyone's minds to be is the rallies. Those are in 2 weeks. Usually at these events, whether it's, again, the rally, Powerful Women, convention, I know there's lots of island people here, so you got a beauty school right in your backyard. That's exciting. You don't need to even take a ferry ride. No ferries, no planes, just going down the island.
Adam, I'm just gonna stop you right there. I want to speak about something that I think is really perfect timing for this part. While we're talking about these events and the importance of getting to events, can you please speak to promoting being our highest paid skill, and also promoting versus announcing, and what that looks like and how some of our members might be able to hone in on that skill?
Absolutely. Great point. So even the verbiage Jeanette just used there, that's something that she's learned through Eric Worre and GoPro and just that community. So he's got a chapter in his book all about events. I think it's skill number 7. He calls it the highest paid skill in network marketing, and the difference between just announcing an event and promoting it. So announcing an event is saying like, hey, there's a convention coming up. It's June 14th to 17th. It'd be great to be there. That's the announcement. It's like, it's an informational post. Like, it is there. If you want it, great. If not, that's great too. So that's an announcement. There's a whole chapter on this that will really flesh it out. I think the most effective way of promoting is telling your own personal story first and foremost, because you can share your own experience with it. And you probably heard the cliche saying, but you know, facts tell, stories sell. So you can list all the facts about an event and why it's valuable and the metrics of it and whatever. But the stories of people having those personal transformations, the breakthroughs, and the shifts in their business is what will really put people in the seat. So our event actually last night at Kelowna, we had no PowerPoint. We had no formal presentation. It was literally 8 people, I think 8, sharing their story, their personal story of why they got started with Young Living, their journey with their business, and then their breakthrough, which all came from an event. So the entire theme of the night was sharing people's stories, so they'll be connected with those people. And then we're promoting and leading to the next event. So sharing a story is the most effective way to get across the point. At the event that we just had at GoPro, we actually started pulling people aside at the mansion that we were staying at, and we started filming people's 1 to 2 minute testimonial on their experience, not just at the mansion, but at the GoPro event, so you could hear it directly from people. And it's funny, there was a few people that had reached a point in their business and in their career, and they all said, they came to GoPro expecting to not learn anything. They thought they already knew everything that they needed to know, and that they couldn't learn anymore, or that they, quote unquote, heard it all before. The people who went to GoPro with the expectation of knowing everything already, or that they just had that kind of posture or mindset, were all the ones who had some of the biggest breakthroughs, because their breakthrough is knowing they didn't know everything, or that they needed to hear that for the 6th time or the 8th time, or something for the first time, because again, nobody knows everything. The people who are the most hungry for personal and professional growth and learning and applying that knowledge are the ones who tend to grow the quickest and fastest. So, and I think when you look at a business plan over like 3 to 4 year period, the most effective way is to first, it's way easier to speak from experience. So with our products, it's really hard to promote a product you don't use personally. And the easiest way to promote a product that you don't use personally is simply by sharing the story of somebody else who uses the product. So you'll notice when Sulfurzyme launched, we had a big theme around collecting people's testimonials. We want people to share how they're using Sulfurzyme, why they're using it, and the results they're getting. So if somebody else isn't using it, they can say, well, this person's got, osteoarthritis. Look at the results that they saw using Sulfurzyme. So first thing you can do is use the product yourself or go to the event yourself. And then every time you go back to the event, come back with more people. I went to 3 conventions by myself. Then we went to 6 people. And I think went to like 25 people. And now we're in the hundreds of people category. The first one went to GoPro. I think we had maybe 4 people. The year after, it was in the 20s. This past year, we went we bought 150 tickets. So it's not like you're going to go from the first event and you're going to go in there with your entire team. But if you can go there with a few people, you'll always wish you had more. You'll never be in an event and be like, I've got enough people. This was good. This was sufficient. You'll always be going, man, I should have worked a little bit harder on that one person to get them there. And, if only $200 what held this one person from coming, like, man, it's a shame. And so if you can just make every event bigger for your own personal team and come there with more people, even if it starts with 1, come with 1. Next time, come with 2, come with 4. It will grow. Obviously, the more you bring, the better and the more effective it will be. So does that cover that a little bit for you, Jeanette? A little more?
Yeah, that sounds good. I do want to cap it off here at 8:30. So I think you have a few questions there to answer. We thought we'd take this opportunity to not just talk about the importance of the events, especially with the upcoming events that we have with the Live Your Passion and then the Women's GoPro, as well as Beauty School on Vancouver Island. We've got lots of opportunities coming up. We thought we'd take this opportunity to ask Adam a few key questions that we just have burning about our business. So there were a few given to you.
So I got a question on the objection over selling. And so instead of going into that more, my answer will be along the lines of the listening through objections. And that if you've got any objection in your business, the price is too much, I don't want to sell, any objection that someone gives you on why they don't want to do something. I don't want to do network marketing.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, exactly. Every single objection is usually deeper rooted. It's not a surface objection. It's a deeper thing. And the easiest way to do it is not through just trying to whatever they say, you counter it, is to ask more questions. Because every time you ask a question, you're peeling back a layer of an onion. If you look at this conversation over an objection, you're just peeling back layers. Oh, so you don't like network marketing. What don't you like about network marketing? Now they're telling you more about what the objection is. So someone says, I don't like to sell. Well, why don't you like to sell? Why do you think you don't like to sell? And then you're getting down just a little bit deeper and a little deeper. And finally we get to the root of why they don't like to sell. Maybe they just had one person who made them feel bad and say, so if you could promote a product that you really liked and not make people feel that way, would that work for you? Oh, well, yeah, that would be okay. Well, great. Then let's operate that way. So you almost have to walk them through their own objection versus telling them why they're wrong and you're right.
Right.
So that's any objection. I got a question on how to get men more interested or involved with the business. And I think it was not just catered around a spouse, but more of just men in general. So even though I'm a guy, I built my business primarily on men. I shared the stat early, or women. Shared the stat earlier, 75% of network marketers are women. So you're looking at a 3-to-1 ratio. So in Canada, those stats are actually even higher. I looked at the Direct Selling Canada stats. And so I actually looked at those early enough and said, okay, I can either try and focus on the men, which might be 15 to 20%, or I could focus on the women and that'll be 80%. Which one do I expect better results with, the 80 or the 20? I went with the 80. So I've never made it a pure focus of mine. I actually like kind of working with women better, to be honest. I met my wife in this business too, so that's fun. But I think specifically for men, I think there's just a natural air of more skepticism likely around the products, potentially. So anyway, what our products do is our products solve problems. So all you have to do is solve people's problems. If you got a guy and he's got post-workout pain, help him get over his post-workout pain. If he's got low energy, help him have a high energy. If he doesn't sleep well, help him sleep better. So that's not like a gender specific thing. We are in a problem solving business. Solve his problems, find out what the problems are. Again, that starts with questions. They probably don't want to sit through some of the things that women sit through, because the whole experience of shopping is not the same for men as it is for women. You guys don't need me to tell you that. You guys know that way more. You guys know everything. I'm actually younger in this area. I don't have as much experience, but you don't need me to quote that. But the other thing is money speaks to men more. If you're looking at getting a spouse just more on board, one, treat your business more professionally and make sure they know that this just isn't a thing you're doing on the side. Make some money, show them the check, whatever. Apply what you're learning, change in who you are. And what I mean by that is not like be a different person, but you will grow professionally and personally as you go through building your business. You will learn things that will shift who you are in a good way. And by showing those actions in your life, you will get more support right away. But money talks to the men. When I look at lots of these network marketing events, you look at GoPro, the actual stage at GoPro is more dominated by men. There's lots of companies out there that their product line, in my opinion, is fairly feminine in nature. If you've got a skincare, like the entire product line is skincare products like face creams and such, in my opinion, that's more of a feminine offering than just essential oils. But they don't have other things to lean back on, like supplements like we do or whatever. Just skincare. Look at most of those companies' top earners, they're men, because I don't think it's because they're more skilled. Because we look at our business, we've got a lot of women who are doing really well. I think it's just they're leveraging the business. They lead with the business more because that's kind of more traditional network marketing. And so they're running their business in that way. So that's my man question. Someone asked me how I organize. I like notebooks. So I take notes on calls. I make notes before calls. I make notes on calls. Richard Branson, I follow him on Facebook, and he's been on this whole theme on like, if you don't write it down, it's like when you have an idea, when you have a conversation, if you're not writing something down, you're losing it. So that's a big thing. So I think this is very kind of specific on who you are individually. Some people who are way more detail oriented, you might like a really fancy dancy planner, like a passion planner, where it schedules out every single hour of your life or whatnot. I'm not that way. I'm a more bigger picture type guy. So I have sticky notes and different things. So the organizational thing is semi-specific, but I think the key is do something, like figure out what works for you, but don't get so caught up on organizing things, because overall organizing isn't potentially an income producing activity. Like obviously having your ducks in a row. So when you have a call, so if I'm talking to Jeanette, I can, pull up notes from last time and say like, hey, we talked about this. How's this going? I want to know her goals and whatnot, but don't get lost in the organization trap. Someone asked on some key action steps on launching your business from the beginning. I think there's a great 3-tier approach. This is straight from the 4-year career, and that's use, recommend, invite. So you got to be using the products, using as many of the products as you can. We've got a diverse product line. You should be ordering 300 PV. If you're building a business, 300 PV is like a minimum, in my opinion, because it'll give you the most value products, and you'll get the most promos. You get the biggest exposure to the product line, and it's really hard to promote something you don't use personally. So, and also people will do what you do. Like a leader of a team really sets the example. So if be a 300 PV leader, not a 100 PV leader. So use the products, recommend them to others. So again, that's a core part of our business. If we didn't recommend products to other people, then we wouldn't be in business. So you have to be engaging in conversation with people and recommending products and solving problems. And the third one is inviting people to take a look. Use, recommend, invite. Inviting them to take a look at our products, inviting them to take a look at our business, inviting them to an event, but putting people in an environment where they can make a decision. So you want them to be in a decision-making environment where they're deciding, yes, I would like to use the products. No, I would not like to use the products. Maybe I'd like to use the products, which means they need more information. Yes, I would like to do the business. No, I would not like to do the business. Maybe I would. I need more information. But you're looking to take them to a point of a decision. Use, recommend, invite. And then specifically with Young Living, if you're looking for kind of like a 3-step process, you're looking to get set, start people premium, Essential Rewards, 3 for free. If you can help somebody do that, especially in their first month, get somebody paid in their very first month with Young Living, they buy their starter kit, and help them to share with at least one person so they get a paycheck, it will dramatically change your results in your attrition, in getting people on board the business. Getting that first check for $67 for a premium starter kit in Canada will do a world of difference for your business. And the great thing about Canada is we can actually put our starter kit on Essential Rewards as the first Essential Rewards order easily now, because Lori, our amazing marketing person, made it happen. You can't do that in the US. It's not, you can't do that the same way. That's a Canadian specific thing that we've got going for us. And we've just got like silly amounts of value in Essential Rewards between our 100 PD monthly tier. Now we've also got bonus oils at every 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. You've got free diffuser options at 3 and 9 months at 100 PV. Like, there's so much value in that program. It is crazy. So ER is the backbone of your business. You can sign up a whole bunch of people, but if they're not utilizing the lifestyle and all that Young Living has to offer, then we kind of call them one kit wonders, where they sign up and then they never order again. Like, it's a one kit wonder. At that point, it's just like a sales job. You're just selling starter kits and making $67 and moving through it. Whereas if you get somebody started on the lifestyle and help them convert over, like exactly Alice, quality members over quantity, then building that Essential Rewards base will be what gives you that long-term residual income, and it makes it, it's just, that's the power of our business. That's why I really pushed for, I didn't just want like a one Boxing Day sale on December 26th, quick orders, because that's just a flash in the pan, get some extra product out in the marketplace, some discounts, some sales, 15 mil RC. Bala, that was a great little promo. That was our top selling item on Boxing Day, was 15 mil RC. But then the 27th to 31st is all just, let's build the ER base as much as possible. Let's set ourselves up to make 2017 January our best start ever, because we've built up the Essential Rewards base, and then we can build forward. And the value of one Essential Rewards member is actually 5 times more than just somebody who's not an Essential Rewards. So that was a stat. I was on the Diamond sales call. They gave us kind of their annual plan for the US at least this morning. And that was a stat they shared, that the value of one Essential Rewards member is 5 times the value of somebody who's not on Essential Rewards, meaning they spend 5 times more over the lifetime. And I don't know, they didn't give like a metric for it as far as a timeline, because I would go to say that it's a higher number, because we know that people who are on Essential Rewards, they not only order more frequently, but they order higher quantity, and they likely use the products for longer, and they use more products. So Essential Rewards is a huge key. And that kind of is the core of our products. The other thing I just wanted to wrap up on is I've talked about a few different resources. For Your Career is one of them. That book is like, it should be a foundational textbook. If you think of, you're in first year of college for whatever diploma degree you're going for, if you're in first year of college for network marketing, the first book you get handed is the For Your Career. And your first test is to not only just read it and say like, oh, I read that, I do a book report on it. No, you want to be able to read it enough that you understand the concepts and you could teach the concepts if somebody asks you to. So that might not be reading it once, that might not be reading it twice, but when somebody talks about, you should be able to explain the value of geometric progression, the asset value of a business. The power of $500. If you have earned $500 in your business, you can just type in the comments like, I've earned $500 or whatever. I just want to show you the power of everyone in this call right now who has earned at least $500 in their business. To put things in perspective, if you were to try and earn $500 from like a different investment model, the value of $500 would be like having $75,000 invested cash into some form of an investment, giving you 8% return on your investment. So again, you've got $75,000 cash sitting in your hands. You turn it over to an investment, a bank account or an investor or whatever, and if they can get you 8% return on your investment, that will make you $6,000 a year or $500 a month. So I picked that specific number because I I've met some people, I network, that's what I do. And so I met an interesting financial guy. And so I did some investments with him last month. And so one of the investments are with a goal to earn me 8% return on my money. They're a 2 to 5 year investment time frame. They are not liquid, meaning the money is there and I'm not seeing it for the next 2 to 5 years. And it's high risk. That's the only way you get like 8% is because it's high risk. And so they make you sign all the papers saying you can't take the money out, it's not fluid, and it could all go away. So that's why I picked those numbers. I'm like, wow, like I'm just seeing how it goes, and I trust this guy. He has his money in too. So I kind of, again, my policy is I've met with lots of financial people because I have more money than I've had before. So you gotta be smart with it. And so I search out people who are already wealthy and I ask them who they use and what they do. And the question I ask every financial advisor I met with is when they pitched me, I asked them how much they had invested in what they just pitched me. And you'd be very surprised how many of them have no money in what they just pitched me. And I'm going, if you're not putting your money in, why would I give you my money to put into that? So this last guy I actually did invest with, he has more money invested in than I do. So I'm going, okay, like you're eating, like you wouldn't eat the chef who doesn't, you wouldn't eat the chef. You wouldn't eat the food of the chef who doesn't eat his own food. Eat the meal. Whoever said that before, it sounded way cooler when I said it. But essentially, I'm not eating the financial advisor's cooking unless he's cooking the same thing for me as he's eating. But that whole little tangent was to show you the power of just earning $500 from home with great products in a great community of people. You know, you look at this call, we've got, 44 awesome individuals on this call who are we're excited about 2017. We're not doom and glooming. We're not, playing a violin about the economy per se. We're not worried about who's in power. We're worried about who's in charge of our own finances and what we can do in 2017 to make it our best year ever. Doesn't matter who's in power politically, professionally, whatever. We can still run our own lives, and we are the ones who are the most accountable for our choices, our actions. And if 2017 isn't what you want it to be, like we just wrapped up a year, you could do a year in review. If 2016 didn't end how you want 2016 to end, the number one person who's got the power to change that is you. And we as your upline support team, as your leaders, the main leaders in your team, we can only do so much for people until they want to do it for themselves. So third-party tools. I've been taught that the person who puts the most tools into the marketplace makes the most money. So if you can put the most 4-year careers into your members' hands and not just put them in their hands, but having them read it, is very valuable exercise. And you never know. I know we're a little bit over time, but I just want to get this. Is Yvonne, did she just leave me? Did you just leave me, Yvonne? No, where is she? I see her. No, where'd she go? Yvonne, you left me. No.
I know she's been having trouble with her Wi-Fi and getting kicked off.
Boo.
I know.
Boo. Well, one time you have to have Yvonne share her story on the 4-year career. Or Jeanette, do you want to share it? Can you share her story?
I will share that story. I would love to. So when I actually met Yvonne through Rena, and it was very, Rena had a home session, and I went, and it was a good time, and we signed up a few people, and I just casually gave Yvonne a 4-year career because I thought this might be something she'd be good at. And that thing, I just followed up. I didn't pressure. I called a couple months later to see how she was doing with her kit and if she'd read the book. And no, she hadn't read the book, had really no interest. She was a marketing professional in Edmonton and this was not on her radar at all, made good money, didn't need anything like this, and wasn't going to sell, and didn't know anything about these pyramid schemes and such. And it took about 4 or 5 months before she was kind of out of things to read and decided to pick it up. And it took her about an hour to read. And after that, she says she put it down and just kind of thought, why not? Why wouldn't this work? So yeah, pretty cool that, even though she didn't just like devour it and read it right away and say, yeah, this is everything I want, sat on her dresser for a long time, It was just that concept of being the farmer, not the hunter, nurturing it. It was just there. It was available. And now she's, you know, a gold leader with Young Living, leading an incredible team of women who are a force to be reckoned with. So
if Jeanette didn't get that tool into the marketplace and it wasn't sitting on her dresser for her to read, there's a whole lot of you who are not on this call right now who don't have this opportunity in front of you, who don't have the business you have in place. So it's a very worthwhile investment to make. I know Jeanette just picked up a bunch more and brought into Canada. If you're looking to get some,
she's got a
box of them. So yeah, connect with Jeanette. Yeah, you guys are in a really good spot, you know, between, you know, Jeanette, Yvonne, Alice is a goal leader in your team, Sindra on the island, Courtney on the island, new silver last month, Amanda. You guys got some really great people going on, you know, Nicole, Claudia, again, the list goes on. A lot of you on the call. This team is a very exciting organization. The results you're producing, just everything. It's an exciting time. I've said this a few years now, and so everyone probably thinks it's kind of cliche, but like I've never been more excited than I am now because I have the biggest scope over what Canada is. Lori is like unbelievable in what she's doing for us in corporate. She's only been with the company for like 6 months and she's like made some really big strides, and she's only become more and more important for our Canadian team. I think she's probably going to get promoted here pretty quickly because she's just doing so many things that like is leaving Utah, like head office going like, who is this lady up in Canada and how is she doing what she's doing? Because it is very noticeable. You know, if you look at some of the promotions we've had, that promo last month as far as the 300 PV tier having 10 free oils, that was Lori who got that. Lori got the Stress Away approved for a 15 mil this month, free Stress Away. She's the one who did the ER promotion, or not the ER promotion, the ER on sign up. She's also the one who on Black Friday got us the diffuser out of the US. There, you know, it didn't show up and it wasn't showing up, and Utah was like, no, we can't do it, it's too tight. And Lori got on there and like made it work somehow.
Lori will be at Live Your Passion in Red Deer.
Yeah, Lori will be there. She's talking about the marketing plan. She's brilliant.
So, all right.
So yeah, for those who are going to Red Deer, yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited for you guys. Oh, and the one thing, as far as cool events coming up, again, it's great that we can get people online. You know, we just put 43 people in a room from all over Canada. We might probably have some Americans in the call, I think 1 or 2. And we can provide this content. Richard Brook, who I've talked about a few times tonight, I've got him doing a New Year's call for us. So on Sunday at sometime, let me see, Sunday at 4 p.m. PST, so 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. Richard is going to be doing a team Zoom call for us to kick off the new year. So that'll be recorded as well. I know it's short notice, but some extra value there you can pick up online and learn from that. So just you guys are the first to know. Nobody else knows about it. That post is going to come out tonight, but I'm pretty excited for it because he's my guy. Thanks, Jeanette.
A brilliant one too. Awesome. Thank you, Adam, so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it. This has been fantastic. Some really great ideas to get us started. I'm really excited for everybody on here. Thank you so much. I honor and value your time. And we realize that time is your only limited commodity. Once it's spent, you never get it back. And Adam and I are so thrilled that you chose to spend it with us tonight. So take care. Have a good night. And if you need anything, reach out, be in touch. There's a whole world of people here that want to see you successful. Have a good night.
Night, everyone.